Well, hello and welcome, my brothers and sisters all over the planet, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Hope this day finds you safe, healthy, and happy, and that you are thriving, whatever you're doing, that you're happy, that you're just enjoying yourself, whatever it is, that you are feeling inspired and supported and purposeful, which is our conversation today. Hey, Wayne, how are you? Good to see you again, man. So yeah, just hope it's a fabulous day for you and everything you're doing. Wow, there you go. I'm now in the picture as opposed to leaning back, lounging. So I had a thought earlier today around purpose, and it was actually inspired by a friend of mine who did a video on YouTube that just kind of made me stop and think about it. It's an oft-used word, and I'm not sure that we all get it. I'm not sure that we all need to get it, in fact. And it kind of, the more I thought about it, the more it confounded me. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit today, and I hope you'll join me out there. It's it's a beautiful day. What's on your mind? I'd love to hear from you. Just make a comment in the comment section, or make a question, a thought, whatever you got on your mind. Back in the day, when I did a radio show on the Co-Creator Network called What We're Thinking About, and it was from 2009 to 2013. It was way ahead of its time. It was before anybody was doing anything like this, and it was the original podcasting. Just couldn't it was hard to attract an audience. It was hard to get people to watch. It was hard, it's still hard, but that's neither here nor there. Now it's kind of a thing. Now everybody's doing it. Now, Joe Rogan's making gazillions of dollars doing a podcast. So now it's a thing. Back then, not so much. But I used to use this book, this thing called You by the one and only Ernest Holmes. And I would open it every single day before my show started. Not before, but as my show started, I would just open it up and I would read from whatever page I opened it up to. And you can see that there's, I have like highlighting there. There's a highlight like that on almost every single page. And you can see my sticky note flags there. There's quite a few of those. And on some of them, I don't know if you can see that. I actually wrote, can I get that in the right position? I actually wrote certain things on there, certain thoughts about what was on that particular page. So today I just kind of thumbed through those sticky notes. And I came upon this one. I had two sticky notes on this page because there was a quote on each page. But this one is about inspiration. And I want to read this to you today because I think, I really, really, really think this is part of, it ties into an idea of purpose, okay? I cleanse the windows of my mind that it may become a mirror reflecting inspiration from the Most High. I do this not with strenuous effort, but through quiet contemplation, through gently reaching and affirming an inward recognition. Today, I walk in the pathway of inspiration. I know exactly what to do in every situation. There is an inspiration within me which governs every act, every thought with certainty, with conviction, and in peace. The key that unlocks the treasures of the kingdom of good is in my hand. I unlock the doorway of my consciousness and gently open it that the divine presence may flood my whole being with light, illumine my being with its radiant glow, and direct my footsteps into the pathway of peace and joy. In the many different discussions that we might have, or definitions we might have of purpose, I think that inner inspiration is more a purpose than almost anything. I think the idea to me is what inspires me in the moment becomes my purpose. Does that make sense? As opposed to having a grand purpose, which I think is how people refer to it. What is your purpose? I'm not sure what my purpose is day in and day out. My purpose in this moment is to do a great show. My purpose when I'm done with the show is to have a great dinner and spend some time with my beloved Lisa. But the purpose shifts from moment to moment. Is there a grander purpose? Is there a bigger idea? And I actually went and looked up purpose. And I, go to your almighty Google in your Google machine, and and here's what purpose comes out as. The original purpose as a noun is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. And then as a formal verb, have as one's intention or objective, which is just, it doesn't really sound, I guess that can be a verb. It sounds almost like an adjective or a noun to me. And then further on, What are other words for purpose? It could be your aim, your design, your end, your goal, your intention, your intent, your objective, um, your objective. I said that, your objective. The one I like the best is your design. What is your overarching design? Now that says to me that there's a purpose there. I went into the Science of Mind textbook and to see what Holmes had on purpose, and Holmes only had purpose listed twice in the whole book, and it was the purpose of Science of Mind and the purpose of treatment. And here's the purpose of Science of Mind, which I kind of like, but it too can tie in. The whole purpose of the Science of Mind is to reconcile the apparent separation of the spiritual world, which must be perfect, with the material world, which appears imperfect. The spiritual world is the cause of the material. We are spiritual beings governed by mental law. Only that world can appear to us which we mentally perceive. Man's experience is the logical outcome of his inner vision. His horizon is limited to the confines of his own consciousness. Wherever his consciousness lacks a true perspective, the outward expression will lack proper harmony. This is why we are taught to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Since no one lives by proxy, but each unto himself, every individual must make the best in his own soul. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Since no one lives by proxy, but each unto himself, every individual must make the test in his own soul. So I find that interesting. It's, once again, it is, I think the key piece there is it's that we don't live by proxy. We each, there's no one taking care of this for us. We each live unto ourselves. And that the only world that can appear to us is that which we can mentally perceive. And if it doesn't, if our manifestation or perception or our outwardly experience is imperfect, that speaks to a disharmony of mind or a disharmony of intent. And that, I believe, from my perspective, is the overall purpose. My purpose is to never lose sight of God. I have a dear friend who says we are alive to the degree with which we serve, which is great. And service is a great purpose, but it's not the end game. To me, the end game is never lose sight of God. To always be conscious of the divine. And this is I think, the core challenge to humanity. And I think it's really painfully obvious right now what a challenge this is, to recognize the presence of God in everyone and everything. That's in a nutshell, that sentence, that is Ernest Holmes' definition of spirituality. The constant and consistent attempt to recognize the presence of God in everyone and everything. The constant and consistent attempt. That's the key word to me, is the attempt. And when we make the attempt, in Holmes's viewpoint, if we make that attempt 51% of the time, then our thought processes are always moving in the direction of perceiving, seeing, recognizing the presence of God. And I say God, some people have been through this a million times. I mean, lots of people have baggage with the word God. God is, as Barry Ebert, my friend from Mile High Church, used to always say, God was this big angry guy in the sky, and he was always mad, and he was always seen to be particularly mad with me. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about God, that overarching creative intelligence of the universe. God within, God, guidance on demand. That's what I'm talking about. And being constantly mindful of that is, a couple things happen here. First and foremost, if I am always aware of the presence of God, in Science of Mind, we believe not that God is everywhere. There is no place where God is not. If I am always aware of that, if I am always conscious of the presence of God in everyone, everything, every perception of my mind, if I'm always aware of that, then I'm totally 100% present. I can't be anywhere else. If I'm aware of the presence of God, I am present in the moment always. And then I also bring myself away from negative thought. I bring myself away from criticism, from judgment, from needing to be right, from comparison, because I only see the presence of God. The difficulty is self-explanatory there. Every moment of every day, every interaction with every person, every bit of media, every social media, everything with your significant other, with your kids, with your boss, with your friends, your coworkers, whatever, every single interaction to be non-judgmental, non-comparative, no need to be right. If in that every single moment I can perceive always the presence of God, then there is no negative thought. There is only the positive. There is only then the harmony of my thought, word, and deed, that there is this coherence, which heart math people will tell you will also lead to heart-brain coherence, in which case everything is in harmony. And if when we can get to that point, oh my God, I'm like teaching myself this enormous lesson as I'm speaking. When we get to that point, what can't we manifest? What can't we bring about as our reality? Me and God as a majority. If I am totally present with the divine in all things, then I am in perfect vibratory harmony with anything and everything in the quantum field I wish to manifest. I hope that makes sense, because it makes perfect sense to me. What greater purpose could I have? And we use purpose in all kinds of different ways. I mean, people ask, what is your purpose? I can't answer the question until today. Today, my purpose is what I just talked about. Always see, to have the constant and consistent attempt to see the presence of God in everyone and everything. That is my purpose. If I never lose sight of that, then any other question of purpose really becomes pretty insignificant, because it all falls into that category of the presence of God. Every other purpose that I might have. We talk in my industry, in the affiliate marketing, network marketing industry, we talk about recruiting with purpose, prospecting with purpose. If I really want to bring my spiritual world and my material world together, then prospecting with purpose in my business life means that I am always prospecting with the one sole focus on the power and presence of the divine in each and every person that I interact with. And what I am offering, if I cannot see the presence of God in my offering, if I do not see the presence of God in what I am promoting, then I shouldn't be promoting it. Purpose doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Purpose doesn't have to be any more complicated than that constant and consistent attempt to see the presence of God in everyone and everything. Now, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. I don't know of anything that conceivably could be more difficult. It's very simple, but it sure as hell ain't easy, because everything is pulling us in different directions from that, right? I always say, the once you claim who you are, right? So here's my claim today. I am saying that my purpose is to absolutely, constantly and consistency see the presence of God in everyone and everything. That is my purpose. That is my claim. That is, for all intents and purposes, who I am. If I am saying that today, then Spirit is going to give me all of these little opportunities to reinforce that by saying, oh, really, Ken? You're going to see the presence of God? How about in this guy? How about in this situation? How about when this person flips you off or curses you out or tells you you're full of crap or whatever? Spirit consistently delivers to us the opportunities to reaffirm who we are, to reaffirm who we claim to be. And in this particular case, to reaffirm my purpose. I just open my eyes, I can take my glasses off, and I don't have to keep pushing them back on. The only problem is I can't see the comments. If you're out there, I know you're out there. I can see that there's people watching. Please make a comment, ask a question, whatever. But what is your purpose? How do you see purpose? Do you feel your purpose? Do you sense your purpose? Is your purpose something that you express in everything you do? Or is your purpose only confined to certain areas of your life? Is your purpose only a business thing? Is your purpose only a relationship thing? What is your purpose? Boy, you folks are out there. If you want to, please make a comment. Tell me what your purpose is. Tell me how you see purpose. I think it's a fascinating subject. It's something that I really, I've wrestled with for a good deal of my life. What is my purpose? And as I said, in different moments of every day, purpose varies. But today I define the overarching purpose: the constant and consistent attempt to see the presence of God in everyone and everything. That's pretty fascinating to me, by the way. I find it fascinating. I hope you find it fascinating. I have I want to say something today that I don't want it to be misunderstood. When I talk about this purpose thing, and I talk about it being a constant and consistent attempt to see the presence of God in everyone and everything, I mean everyone and everything. And that is not easy in the world that we live in today, particularly in this country. Although I think in the countries of Europe, they're going through the same kinds of things, where we have an entire group of people who are trying desperately to undermine our democratic republic, who are trying to convert it into a theocratic autocracy. And I am more than a little unnerved by that. But at the same time, how do I then see the presence of God in all of those people and all of those things that they're doing, and all of the crazy intentions that they seem to have around undermining our government, undermining our country, undermining, as people say, this great experiment? It appears to me that the only answer is, I guess, the same thing, right? It's the only answer is love. And I don't think that love necessarily requires that we extend love to undermining behaviors, to wholly negative behaviors, to vengeful behaviors. That's what we have a lot going on now, right now. There's, again, not to be political, but there's the one of the people who is most vociferous out there in the world, who voices his opinions, regardless of whether they make sense or they sound moronic or whatever, actually made the comment, "I am your retribution." Oh my God, we cannot have a society where anybody is screaming, "I am your retribution." What is it? What is this? Some kind of video game? Is this Dungeons and Dragons or what? I don't even know what the names are, so I shouldn't even be saying those things. But that's, Game of Thrones. Is it? I mean, that's what Game of Thrones was all about. Was all about vengeance. We can't live our lives that way. We can't live our society that way. We can't have that be who we are and what we do and how we do it. And if the purpose then becomes see the presence of God in everyone and everything, then we have to understand that God is in the insurrection, if you will. God is in the diabolical attempt to overthrow the democratic republic. God is in all of those activities, and we need to know that we see that we see God in that. And then we have to learn how to take what we know to be the loving alternative to that as a counterbalance, and know that God is in that God is in the counterbalance. that God is in it all. It's just, it's a fascinating time to be alive. It's a fascinating time to be looking at those things in our government, in our society, in our dividedness. My mom, many years ago, when the internet was a relatively new thing, she said it's the devil's plot. Now, as a metaphysician, I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in capital E evil, but I sure as hell recognize small e evil. And my mom was closer to right than she was to wrong. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, that the fact it used to be, there was a time when you could look something up on the internet, you could do actual research on the internet, and you would find the thing that you were looking for pretty easily. Now you go to look for something and you have to wade through an enormous pile of BS before you can even get close to a truthful answer to the question you might have asked. That's hard, man. Makes it difficult. And because of the biases that we have around our already decided opinions, or confirmation bias, if you will, that where we absolutely know what we think and what we feel, and the first thing that we come across on the internet that backs that up, that's the truth, and that's the one we go with. That's what the internet has done. I don't want to say for us, because I don't know that it's done it for us. It's done it to us. And social media has compounded that felony. And, and then you have things like TikTok. And is TikTok actually really just a foreign government's attempt to mine the data of the American people? Who knows? Far afield of the original conversation. But then again, that's what happens when you do a stream of conscious podcast. That's it for me today. That's pretty much all I've got for you. I hope some of that was useful. I hope the idea of purpose was useful. I hope that maybe, send me an email. Yes, Wayne, love always wins. It is the law, and that is the way we're supposed to look at it. That's the way we're supposed to go about it, and that's where we come back to that idea of purpose. If we are constantly and consistently looking to see the presence of God in everyone and everything, we are living, in a sense, in a space of love. Remember, my friends, that New Thought Media Network is a nonprofit organization. Please just go to ntmedia.org. That's newthoughtmedia.org, ntmedia.org. Click on the donate button. We are beyond grateful for anything and everything you contribute to our cause and to keeping this network alive. We're going to go to new places with this network. We're going to take it to uncharted territory. And I hope you'll join us on all of that. I can see you folks are out there. The show's going to end here in a moment. If you got a question or a comment or an insight around purpose, your purpose, please make a comment before we go off, and I'll be glad to answer it. We'll stay on for a little longer. You guys know, I think, that my sponsor is hempworks.com. You just go to hempworks.com/Ken Ludwig. That'll take you right to my page on the parent company, which is mydailychoice.com/Ken Ludwig. We are the fastest growing affiliate marketing company on the planet. HempWorks is the largest direct-to-consumer distributor of CBD and hemp-infused products in the world. If you want to reach me, send me an email, teamrocketnow@gmail.com. You can see my beloved Lisa and I on our branded Facebook page, which is not here. Where the heck is it? It must be up there somewhere. It is, yes, Vibrant Aging on Facebook, which goes hand in hand with the show Vibrant Living. You can find us on Vibrant Aging. And once again, let's go back to the donate page. So if if you're interested, go to come on. What's it doing here? There you go. The internet is so much fun. I love technology. I see the presence of God in technology. I try anyway. newthoughtmedia.org, ntmedia.org. Click on donate. We'll be glad to take your money. We'll be thrilled and grateful beyond belief for your continued support of the network. And that's it for me, as I said. And as always, I am immensely grateful for the great gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings that the universe has to offer. I hope you will join me every Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time for another edition of this show, Vibrant Living. And until next time, I wish you a fabulous day. Namaste.